game. It's a rich thing.
Hello guys, today in this video, we're going to help you to find out the best light meter for photography and market. I made this list based on my personal opinion, and I tried to list them based on their quality, durability, customer review, and more. If you want to see their price and find out more information about them, you can check our links in the description below. Number 9. Dr. Meter LX 1330B Digital Illuminance. Probably the best deal on our list. The Dr. Meter LX 1330B Digital Illuminance provides high-quality light reads for an incredibly low price. It's an inexpensive light meter that has 4 ranges to choose from, allowing you more control over how you measure and what your read is. It also has a low power mode, allowing you to stretch its use if you're at a location where a power strip isn't nearby. Get better control over your readings with data hold and peak data hold for when you're recording information. You'll also benefit from its lower power consumption and short rise and fall times. Clearly readable info lets you read units and signs easily and stay informed with the over-range indicator. From squeezing into tight places to keeping your load light, you can bring the Dr. Meter Digital Illuminance / light meter wherever you need to. Fits easily into a work bag or large pocket and barely adds any weight. Number 8. Sekonic L208 TwinMate. Sekonic is the best in the business when it comes to light meters, as you'll see. And the TwinMate doesn't disappoint. The L208 TwinMate stands out on this list for its analog nature. It's the only device here where you can watch the needle swing to represent the amount of light on a scene. This doesn't just look cool, it gives you a tangible sense of how light shifts in different sections of your scene in real time. Sure, the needle reading requires you to estimate a bit more than with a digital sensor, but for someone who wants to understand how light refracts and reflects throughout a scene, this is the ideal device. The Sekonic L208 TwinMate is a fantastic blast from the past that gets the job done for a small price tag. The Sekonic L208 TwinMate is a palm-sized analog light meter for handheld incident and reflected ambient light readings. Number 7. Sekonic L-308 Siemens U. Sekonic L308S0U is a sufficiently functional pocket digital light meter capable of measuring incident and reflected light. You can always carry it with you, regardless of the shooting conditions. It offers high precision of up to tenths of a stop for both ambience and digital flash readings with the help of a small lens at an angle of 40°. When using the flash meter mode, you have 90 seconds for manual measurement. On average, this value fluctuates around 60 seconds. Sekonic L-308 Siemens U can also show the aperture and shutter speed values to reflect the exposure settings of your camera. Despite its small size, the device has an adequate measuring range and such advanced functions like the ability to read ambient and flashlights in both incident and reflecting modes. Number 6. Sekonic Lightmaster Pro L478 DRU. One of the most distinguishing features of the Sekonic Lightmaster Pro L478 DRU is its large 2.7 touchscreen that provides simple controls. Despite being 5 years old, this Sekonic light meter can work in the 2 to 22.9 EV range at ISO 100, which is still more than enough today. The L478 series meters are especially useful when using flash to lighten shadows or reduce background detail. That's because they measure ambient and flash simultaneously and automatically indicate the percentage of flash in the total exposure. Other than a traditional LED light meter for photography, Sekonic Lightmaster Pro L478 DRU can also be used for video recording thanks to such modes as Cine and HD Cine, which allow you to set shutter angles from 1 to 358 degrees and a frame rate from 1 to 1000 fps. Number 5. Sekonic L858D Speedmaster. This high-end meter offers reflected spot metering, incident metering for both 3D and flat subjects via retracting/rotating lumisphere, Cine and Cine HD modes, and extensive support for flash, with the ability to measure flash duration, flash versus ambient ratios, and wireless flash triggering, plus high-speed sync support and flash duration measurement. Launched in 2016, The Sekonical 858D was touted as the most advanced light meter ever. The key thing to understand about the L858D is that it's two specialized meters in one. It offers spot-reflected readings via an eyepiece on the side and ambient readings via the rotating lumisphere on the top, which can also be retracted/extended to suit different lighting characteristics. This is not, however, a meter for the faint-hearted. Number 4. Sekonical 208 Twin Mate. Where the Digisix 2 uses a multi-mode digital readout, the Sekonical 208 Twin Mate is an analog device that indicates the light level with a swinging needle. You turn a dial to line up an index marker with the needle position, then read off shutter speed and aperture combinations off the same dial. It's a similar manual transfer principle to the Digisix, but with a strong retro look which is more practical than it looks. The position of the needle may look more approximate than a digital readout, but its position on the scale gives a much more immediate sense of how much light there is in the scene. You don't get that just from numbers on a display. Number 3. Tartesson Light Meter. This light meter is a great affordable option from Tartesson if you don't need more in-depth control or digital readouts. In a tiny compact package that fits on the hot shoe of your camera and only weighs 35 g, you will barely even notice it. Powered using common CR2032 batteries, you won't have to worry about outdated batteries. Using only reflected metering, this light meter cannot be used with flash, but for everyday photography this is perfect. The controls are simplistic, with aperture and shutter speed dials to lock in your camera settings, and then a plus and minus LED light will guide you to the right exposure. The Tartesson meter is a small, lightweight accessory meter that weighs only 93 g. It serves well for people who use older Leicas and similar rangefinder cameras. The body is entirely black when it's new. During the time of use, the black paint will gradually peel off, revealing the color of brass. Number 2. Sekonical 398A Studio Deluxe 3. The Sekonical 398A Studio Deluxe 3 is a piece of history. So much so that it's the basis of Sekonic's Special Edition 70th Anniversary Commemorative Light Meter. It uses something called an amorphous silicon photocell to take its light readings, which means it doesn't require batteries. This is not only environmentally friendly, but also just generally means it's less of a hassle. The Levy range is a little narrower than others, and there's no flash metering, but the Sekonical 398 does have both a lumigrid for reflected light and a lumidisc for incident light, which is pretty cool. The metering cell is also in a rotating head that can be turned in almost any direction. Number 1. Sekonical 308X Flashmate. The Sekonical 308X is small enough to fit in a pocket and runs off an easily replaced AA battery rather than a button cell. It meters both reflected light, over a 40-degree angle, incident light, and flash, and offers a digital readout in multiple modes. It also offers sign metering. It's more versatile and powerful than others on this list, but perhaps less useful for metering novices. It's annoying that you have to turn the meter to see the display after you've taken a reading. And while it will give you direct aperture and shutter speed settings on the display, it doesn't display aperture and shutter speed combinations in the same way as a physical dial. The L308X is a great practical tool, but not such a good learning tool.